We want to go to our expert now, Dr. Sung-Yoon Lee from Tufts University. Dr. Lee, all right, we watched this happen live. That moment's going to be played over and over on TV tonight. What happens next after this meeting?
Well, great things will accrue for North Korea. You know, the last time a U.S. president geared up for a summit meeting with his North Korean counterpart, that was back in 2000. Kim Jong-il, the father of the current leader, dramatically changed the tune from molto agitato to placido, putting on a smiley, softer face, and called for the first time, a summit with his South Korean counterpart in June 2000. A fortnight before that important meeting, Kim Jong-il made his first visit to Beijing, to China, 6 years after inheriting power, just as Kim Jong-un did this March. 6 years after inheriting power, he showed up in Beijing. Why? Because he had an important summit coming up with the South Korean president. After that, Kim Jong-un, having met with China in May and the South Korean leader in June, he received Vladimir Putin in Pyongyang. In July, it was the first ever visit by the top Russian or former Soviet leader. Why did Putin visit? Because of the dramatic mood swing in the region affected by the North Koreans. And then Kim II turned to softening up the United States. For the first time in history, North Korea sent a special envoy to the White House, Vice Marshal Jo Myung-rok, who met with President Clinton and conveyed to Clinton a letter, an invitation by his boss for Clinton to visit Pyongyang, North Korea. President Clinton impulsively didn't say yes on the spot, but he was very keen on making the visit and sent his Secretary of State, Madeleine Albright, to North Korea just 12 days later. And the only reason that first ever dramatic U.S.-North Korea summit to be never materialized is due to the chaotic scene in the wake of the November 7th election in 2000, the Al Gore-George W. Bush vote recount, and time ran out. Al Gore did not concede defeat until mid-December, and it became politically just unfeasible for Clinton to visit in January. My point here is this is a very carefully planned, choreographed, elaborate process by which the North Korean dictator, funny-looking, ruthless, weird dictator, comes to be accepted, legitimated as a not-so-abnormal but reasonable everyman or global statesman. Don't be surprised if Kim Jong-un meets with Vladimir Putin, Japanese Prime Minister Abe, or even speaks at the UN General Assembly, or visits China again, and everyone will...
I'll take you back to that point you just made there, Professor Lee, in talking about this moment where it sort of legitimizes the leader here of North Korea. What were your thoughts just seeing that moment right there that you're watching on your screen at this very second, that handshake, the meeting of the eyes, and then whatever they were talking to each other about right there in all of your years of experience? Tell me what your thoughts were in that exact moment.
It is a special moment. How it's remembered in the future remains to be seen. But there is the potential of this moment being a trap for the U.S. president. Why? Because any agreement that President Trump now supports or endorses, it will become politically difficult, not impossible, but difficult for President Trump to scuttle that, to walk away from a deal that he himself has endorsed. And North Korea will be able to buy time and money with which to continue perfecting its nuclear and missile capabilities while making just incremental concessions here and there. What North Korea seeks is not a final resolution, not the final denuclearization of North Korea, but the final eviction of the U.S. troops from the South and from Japan. So you have a very different, polar opposite definition of the crux of the matter, denuclearization of the Korean peninsula, as they say. There are no nukes in the South, so why don't we say denuclearization of South Korea? But North Korea insists always, no, the Korean peninsula. That's what we mean. The U.S., you need to get out of the region.
Professor Lee, thank you so much for your insight. We really appreciate you being with us here tonight on this historic night. Thank you so much.